this video, I wanted to talk about the third reason why I wanted to open this YouTube channel, which is I consider myself a multi-passionate person. I feel like social media is not a space for people who are multi-passionate because of how the algorithm works. The algorithm works by, putting you in a box and categorizing you. If you are a fitness creator, you will appear to people who are searching and looking and creating content in fitness. If you are in, cooking niche, you will appear to people who are interested in knowing new recipes or cooking. And the thing is, I like a lot of things, different things, and they are not related in any kind of way. And that I don't think is something that fits the algorithm or of Instagram or TikTok, That's what I think YouTube is a much more better platform for content creators who have a diversity of passions. A multi-passionate person is defined by somebody who has different passions and are interested in knowing about those in a deep way. And I kind of concord with that, like I agree with that, but I would say that everyone has or may have a different definition of what is a multi-passionate person. Like I didn't know about this term or the meaning until a couple of years ago, and I felt that I couldn't call myself a multi-passionate. I don't consider like a multi-passionate like something special or different or great or better, but it's a good way of defining myself in comparison to those who may not have all these passions or interests, And for me, I want to clarify that for me has been really, I would say, kind of hard because I don't consider I have a low self-esteem, but I don't consider I have a high self-esteem. And for me, multi-passion or label myself as a multi-passionate person was like something positive, as a trait. And in the same way, it's hard for me to label myself as a writer because I don't have anything published. I label myself as a journalist because I have articles published, but I don't label myself as a writer because I don't have any books published. It has been hard for me to label myself as a multi-passionate because I feel like I didn't have any right, or I feel like an imposter, especially because I don't have too much knowledge about what it is to be a multi-passionate, or where it comes from, or why some people are and what some people are not. And for me, because I haven't done that much of a research, I don't know if I'm going to be right or wrong in this video. The way I have made mine this term and this label is because I consider that I have different passions, not because I love those passions, which is true, but because the core of my multi-passion is curiosity. See, when I was growing up, I have two main hobbies, let's gonna call it hobbies, which were swimming and reading. I started swimming when I was 3 years old because my parents decided to enroll me in swimming lessons because I have a tendency to go towards the water and I didn't know how to swim. And so once I learned how to swim, my parents decided to keep me in the swimming lessons. So I started to train and do it at a semi-professional level. With time, it was swimming lessons, and all the training was occupying 2-3 hours of my day every day, plus competitions in the weekends. At the same time, when I was 6-7, I discovered reading and I started to read. And if you were a child or a teenager that discovered reading at this ages, you know that you were probably the boring books. Like literally you finish one book, you started another one. You were capable of reading a couple of books per day, or I don't know, you were reading like between 10 and 20 books per week, you know? So I spent a lot of hours, like 6-7 hours per day, just reading. I didn't have good grades because I spent too much time reading, basically. And I think one of the reasons why I have this curiosity without limits is because of reading, actually, you know, because when you read, you know things and you want to know more things, and you're just curious. So I believe I choose a passion which also boosts more your curiosity, like it is reading. I think it comes from there. And that's why for me, I consider myself multi-passionate, but because my core value and skill and ability is curiosity. I'm always curious, because I think a lot of adult people has lost this curiosity. You know, multi-passionate people is more things and more things, are a lot of things, like a lot of things that I don't have the knowledge, because despite of my curiosity, I have never pursue a deep knowledge of what it entails to be a multi-passionate person, or where it comes from, or what is it. I actually believe that most of the people could be multi-passionate, but when they were kids or growing up, you know, they just focus on one thing. And now as adults, or when you grow up and you are an adult and you start to get responsibilities, you have less time. And if, for example, you decide to have a family, you even have less time to cultivate that passions and that curiosity. So you stick to the one that is maybe more convenient or more easy, or, you know, the one that you can do in the time and conditions that you have. But I believe that most of the people are multi-passionate. As you, for example, if you love running, you know, there is a big community of running. And so it is normal that you ended up sticking to it in comparison to, I don't know, drawing. For what I have felt is that in my environment, my surroundings, my friends, my family, and everyone, they cannot. With some, I never spoke about that, and with others, I just feel like they tell me that I should focus on one thing, and I think while they are kind of accepting and somehow understanding that I have different passions, they usually tell me to stick to one. And I think they don't understand, and I don't know if this is something that a lot of multi-passionate feel. They don't understand that choosing one means sacrificing the other ones. By sacrificing those, you are sacrificing part of yourself, part of your identity. And it's just like, I can't. I remember last year I started a YouTube channel in Spanish about personal finance. And after like 4 or 5 videos, I remember I was starting and it was like, I love it. But I feel like if I put myself into what if it was a medium success, not like super success, but medium success. And people start to know me as like the girl who knows about personal finance. And I was like, but I'm not just that. I don't want to be just that, because it's not that I just know more things. It's just that there are things I also want to be known for, and things that I really want to dedicate time. And if I put myself in a box and I decided to develop a business on personal finance and whatever, then I'm scared I will stop having time for the other things I'm passionate about. So I stopped creating content on personal finance, and it just makes sense. Like, I felt it was the right decision because I was not being completely me. Now, this I'm starting this YouTube channel because of the same reason. I really want to have a space where I can be myself, and I'm not doing from the perspective of I want to share knowledge with people so I can help them, like in personal finance. I feel like I'm in a stage of my life that I need to express myself, be seen fully, and that's mean not niching down, basically. I feel that right now YouTube is probably the only platform where you can create content and be yourself, in the sense of sharing your different passions. You cannot do that on social media like Instagram or TikToks. That's again the third reason why I wanted to start this YouTube channel. I have a newsletter in Spanish where I write essays, and I'm loving it because it's something I've been wanting to do for years. I never dare to put myself out there and my writing, but again, I'm in a moment of my life that I need to express myself and I need to be seen as a whole. So I think YouTube is the right platform in the sense that I want to use this channel for validate myself. We tend to wait for others to validate who we are and how we are. And I think it's important until you know that and you realize that you can do that yourself, that you don't need external validation. You have the power to validate yourself. But still, one thing is to validate yourself and validate like yourself internally, like, mentally recognizing and say, oh, I did this wrong, or I'm being too hard with myself, or I'm stressed, and you recognize it. And there is a second layer of this validation, which is saying it out loud, speaking out, and that's what YouTube is gonna be for me. It's a way of recognizing myself without being seen by others or my surrounding, because they know me, but I feel like they want me to fit in something I don't fit, and I have felt like this since forever. And by just publishing these videos, even if nobody sees them, is a way to witness myself, validate myself out loud, like having this external validation because I'm saying things out loud. It's not just in my mind, which again I think is another layer of validation. I don't know if any psychologist sees this video, they probably know or understand what I'm saying. And it's also a way of not letting the voices of others and the voices of the people who surround me to influence me and to shrink, to give them the power to again shrink myself to that boxes. I want to speak out loud, and I want to hear my voice more than the voices of the people who surround me. The only voices I want to hear is the voices of people who are like me, that are multipassionate, and that they can recognize themselves in what I'm saying and what I'm sharing. Because when you don't have an environment who is like you, it's really difficult. You think that there is something wrong with you, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You were just brave enough to keep alive several of your passions and cultivate them. And so I hope, again, this YouTube channel gave me the strength to show myself, show my passions, recognize myself, recognize the power of having different passions and be myself, and just accepting that it's okay not fitting into this system of specialties. And so yeah, that's the whole point of the video. And if you are multi-passionate, I would love to connect with you. Thank you for watching. If this is reaching somebody, well, if not, that's completely fine. I'm just loving it here.